we opened up at a coffee shop. This brand new coffee shop just opened. They decided to have a metal band, and when we went on, like kids were tearing the art off the walls and shit. Like I
Holy
think I
shit.
broke up a fight, in the middle. I remember though when David and Chris would do their like axe swings and stuff. I just dipped down right on time, like get down like this. And then once everybody saw that, man, it was just like an all out war. But I just remember having these two kids by the scruffs of their neck, like, don't do it. They were just like, okay, 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 you know.
Dude,
But
that's crazy. What the fuck?
yeah, they never had a metal band play there again. That was the end. That was the first and last time.
Welcome to the 113th episode of the Cast That Ends Creation. I'm your host, Chris Deering. This is the show where I interview bands and public figures from the mathcore adjacent communities. If you like to subscribe for $5, you get access to the interviews before they hit YouTube and other streaming services, as well as some exclusive emotes. You can also sub for free by attaching Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. It's like taking $5 from Jeff Bezos' pocket and putting it into mine. If you're watching this on YouTube or listening to this in your car and have no idea what I'm talking about, the show is first shown live on Twitch. Join us every Sunday and Wednesday at twitch.tv/thecastThatEndsCreation for the live cast. With all that out of the way, let me introduce our guest today, who you might know from a Black Rose Burial, as well as a bunch of other projects. Welcome in, Joel Ferry. How's it going?
Good, man. How are you doing?
Dude, I'm doing great, man. Thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate it.
So give us a brief background on who you are.
Where do I start? So I grew up in the ghetto.
A poor black man, right? Isn't that what the joke is?
East Oakland. Yeah, I tried to rap for the longest time, discovered that I was white at 9 years old, started listening to metal, and then went that route.
Oh, really? You tried to rap and stuff?
I did, yeah, for a minute.
Okay.
I was strongly inspired by Busy Bone and Too Short. So.
Oh shit, that's awesome, man. Do you have like recordings of you rapping?
No, the closest that we get is me doing a track on my buddy Dan's album "Sui Generous Exile," and he does like an indie kind of rapping like combo, I would say. But we did something back in 2007, I want to say, and I do a little rap there, and the song's about zombies. It's called This Plague Will End Us All.
That's fucking sick, dude.
Yeah.
You should try to inject that into your new stuff. Are we gonna be getting rap coming sometime soon?
I think the closest I'll get to spitting is I've been really trying to get those like really fast-paced screams that like Arc Fire kind of stuff. So
I gotcha.
We'll see what I can manage. I'm old now, so.
Nah, man, I don't think you're that old, man. So how did you get started in music in general? What made you want to start making music?
Oh man, like I've had uncles, that were just feeding me, like glam rock, and then I had another uncle that was strongly into anything that was like off the grid, Cannibal Corpse. Like I started listening to Korn, I think when I was 10, and that kind of set it for me. But we would go and we would watch Headbangers Ball growing up from like 10 till when it turned into 120 minutes. We did that too, and just watching all those bands, man, I was like, I want to be up there, I want to do that. I actually started out playing bass.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it was the 8th grade. I took my bass amp and I found a little karaoke mic, and I had the songs in my head, and I was just screaming in my garage. And funny story, my neighbor actually thought that I was having a nervous breakdown in the garage. So he called my dad at work, and he's like, hey, I think something's going on with Joel. Like he's just in the garage just screaming his lungs out right now. I banged on the garage to check on him to see if he was okay, and he said, yeah, I'm fine, I'm just practicing. It's like, and he was just like, practicing what? So
that's awesome. And when did you start forming bands?
I think the first one I actually formed that wasn't successful. It was just a bunch of us kids, getting together was
Right.
about 8th grade. So I was about 14.
Okay.
And
you were into extreme metal at that point too?
I was, yeah.
Dang, man, that's pretty early for that. Alrighty. I
Right.
remember mine was like probably around ninth grade, so I guess it's not too far off, but
Oh yeah.
that's pretty sick, man. So what was your first successful band? Was it a Black Rose Burial, or were you on something else?
My senior year, I was in a band, and it was like a new metal band, because out in the Central Valley, there was, like I was trying to get into a black metal band at the time, but nobody was having it, like everybody was all about Sepultura. They were about Korn, they were about Slipknot and all that. So I found a band, and I joined it, and it was members like they were like 35 and under, and I was there 18, so at bar shows I had to stand outside, until my set and everything. But that band was called Icon. So that was the first band that I really started playing shows with. Played a couple shows like my freshman year with bands, but it was nothing big like this. We were getting booked, like we recorded an EP and everything. So
Oh,
I would say that one was the first successful one. After that was a
what was
Black
the name?
Rose, though. They were called Icon. So it's
Oh, okay, Icon.
EYECON. Yeah.
EYECON.
Yeah.
Is there music online?
Oh man, good luck finding it.
Well, I'm gonna
There
yeah,
used to be.
I'm gonna dig, man. I'm gonna see if we can find some
You
of
should.
this stuff. So then I guess next came Black Rose Burial.
In between that, actually, at the same time, I had joined a band based out of here, the South Bay, called Beneath a Bleeding Sky. I never played any shows with them, but I did record their second EP with them, and that's called Convulsion Hymns. You can find that on YouTube.
Oh, okay. A Bleeding Sky. I'm writing these down because I'm definitely gonna see if I can. But yeah. So how'd you end up getting into Black Rose Burial and yeah, starting to become successful?
I did it the old school way, man. I printed out a bunch of flyers with the numbers at the bottom. Did the cut thing. Take a tab. I went to the local record stores around here, which is Rasputin's. I was actually living out in Hayward at the time, which is probably about 45 miles east of San Francisco. I'm not very up on my geography right now, unless I have a map that shows me exactly where it is.
I
But
gotcha.
I went to, I want to say, like 4 different locations back when they had like CD stores over there. It was like Tower Records. I went to the mall, put it on the pins there, and our bassist came by, and he took one, and I got a call like probably a week later from Chris, the guitarist, and we were talking for a good like 2.5 hours, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna check it out. At that time I was in Beneath a Bleeding Sky too, so I was like trying to juggle the two. I was like, well, this band, like I'm just going into it, out of nowhere, and this other band, I'm already recording an EP with Zach Oren, so I was just
Right.
like, I think I'm gonna stick with Beneath the Bleeding Sky. And then they ended up getting their old singer back, and just were like, you know what, we don't, I mean, they're all good friends of mine now, but at that time they were just kind of like, oh, develop friendship and stuff. You're a cool guy, but we've known this guy forever. He's been in the band with us. I was like, that's cool, man. I still love Black Rose, and we
That's
rode
kind of
with it.
rough, man. Like you record an EP with them and stuff. You like prove you're the more stable member or whatever, and then there's like, you know what? We're gonna get the old guy back in.
I didn't blame him, man. I was a little awkward then too, actually,
Okay.
So it's, yeah. So I was like this new guy jumping in, and I mean, they had full respect, and loved what I did. But, sometimes bond.
No, yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah,
but probably more like brothers or whatever at that point.
exactly.
So you were the guy that put together a Black Rose Burial. So like
No,
you weren't.
no. So I was the one that gave the name. They were before they were a Black Rose Burial, they were a new metal band, kind of like maybe like on the verge of new metal, little. I trying to say like kind of chill, like Deftones ish, mixed with some more new metal aspects called Fleshhole. And then they actually took on the name. They met Chris, the guitarist, and then they took on the name Depths of Depression, taken from Adamantium's from the Death from the depths of depression.
Hmm.
And then once I joined, I brought in the keyboards and the name of Black Rose Burial.
So what was
So,
up with the flyers and stuff? Then you said you went around posting flyers and stuff for it.
oh yeah, the flyers for a vocalist seeking band.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That makes so much
Yeah,
more
yeah,
sense.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so I just put all my list of influences. I started with At the Gates. Like the red chord was a new thing. I already had them on there. The number 12 was a new thing back then. You know, I had all that. Like I had a huge list of influences, and I just, you know, people were like, "Hey, I really like your influences, man." Not a lot of people know those bands yet, and
Nice.
that's all I was delving into at the time. So
Okay,
I was
okay. So did you have an influence on like actually writing the music, or was that all like the guitars?
oh no, definitely. The keyboards, like once the keyboards came in, that was all me.
Okay.
So, but Chris was the main writer. I would say him and George, the drummer, they wrote most of the music. I just kind of put my own twist to it, and you know, I had an intro and stuff like. So basically, we wrote off an intro. Like a Belfort Aura started off originally with me with a Casio keyboard, and I hit La Cucaracha in the song bank, and we were just kind of fucking around, like laughing and stuff, like, and then instead of my scream like that, yeah, you know, I just went go instead. You know, it was pretty funny. But just right after La Cucaracha, you know, like Chris just came out that just like going crazy on the guitar, and that's how that was formed. And it was pretty funny though. We had that going for a while. We never used it live though, but we were going to. Yeah, it would have been a pretty funny thing starting it with a Casio song bank song, you know.
Right. No, it sounds like gold, man.
Right.
There's like a ton of different styles in a Black Rose Burial. Everything from like really heavy deathcore sounds to almost like traditional metal riffs even. Like
Right.
how do you have how do y'all have so many different influences like coming together and it doesn't sound like a complete mess? Because I know other bands are like jumping around, like Between the Buried and Me had a lot of like the really fast and really light types of sounds going on,
Right,
the big
right.
contrast. So I know bands are doing it, but you do it to a much higher degree. I would say like a lot more often. So like,
Awesome.
how did y'all think to do that and make it actually work?
Jazz timing and pauses.
Okay.
Yeah, those pauses, man, they save you, especially with the video, like with the movie excerpts in there. You know, it's like that gives you enough transition, so it makes it sporadic, but it also has a good flow to it. You know,
Right. It's
but
kind of like a bunch of things happening all at the same time.
right. And George is such a good drummer, man. Like, you know, he always had these like little fills that it didn't matter if you were going to go into like just a really melodic riff or just a straight like chaotic, you know, back and forth, sporadic, all over the place, like jazzy, you know, off time stuff.
Okay, so
So
it was just something that just came natural to you guys to like throw a
exactly,
bunch of this
yeah.
stuff together.
I just went along with on the ride, man. Like I went for the ride with you know, like I just okay, what if I do this? What if I do this? Chris actually had like a little tape recorder at that time, and he would only record probably about 15 seconds of a song, like parts that we wrote, and we'd have like 15 seconds worth. I asked him to record it for me too, so I'd go back to his place. He had that dual recorder, and then I take that home and I'd write the lyrics just for that part and practice it over and over, like until I got it down. Thinking about that, I need to get back on that fucking method. It was the best. I had all my songs, like brand new songs. Once we played them, I had them memorized. There was no going back, you know, like it's like, oh, I've been singing this, you know, this paragraph for so long that once I'm on to the next one at next practice, okay, I got this one down. I'll go into the next one. So I don't have to remember and then be like, oh, fuck, what's next? You know, so.
I got you, man. So you dropped An Awakening of Revenants in 2005, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, awesome, man.
November 2005, I believe. Yeah.
Alrighty. We got the cover for the EP up on screen. I just want to ask you, what was the thought process going into this? It seems like it's not, there's not a lot of like actual shapes and stuff. Like I see like a zombie and another zombie head, but everything else is kind of abstract. So what was the idea for the cover of the EP?
You know what? Like a lot of our influence was from 80s Italian horror, and our bassist and drummer, they're twins, especially, they were all about, all those movies and introduced me to a lot of them. And I was just like, okay, so what can I do to make this like give that aesthetic, but also give like the like metalcore aesthetic to it a little bit. So I wasn't cool enough to use Photoshop. I didn't know how. So I used the Microsoft thing. So I would just take Word and put filters on it. And I just came up and I just showed it to, I was like, look what I did, and they were like, oh, that's cool. so
you made
like,
this
okay.
then?
Yeah.
Dude, it's not bad
that
at
was
all,
me.
actually.
I took a picture though. I stole a picture, I downloaded it, and then I just put my own twist on it. I think in the background it says really faintly, "A blood drawn map will guide their way," which is one of the lines from Belfor Ara. So
okay. Oh no, yeah, I can kind of see it now that
right.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So do you ever go like on tour and stuff like that? I'm not sure how big a Black Rose Burial actually was. I just remember hearing your name.
I want to say like the biggest, like we didn't really tour. No, I think we did a 3-day thing with Sender Receiver back in the day. And that started, I want to say Concord, and then Danville, and then San Jose. So it was like, it was all within really close driving distance to us.
Okay.
Like we never hit LA or anything like that. We were wanted there, but we never did it.
So how do you explain people knowing like your name and stuff then? I guess it's all MySpace. Like all just the power of the internet or whatever. Like a lot of people know who you guys are. So like how do you think that it spread so much?
I have no idea, man. I know that we had one of those like robo filter things that added fans for us.
Okay,
So
you
we
had one of the robots.
cheated.
I got you. Dude, I did that
So
back
we
in the
kind
day
of cheated,
too. Yeah.
right? But just the reactions and stuff, like friends telling friends. I remember back in the day, like looking at a video of some kids in Guam covering the epidemic.
Shut up, really?
Yeah. Yeah. And I was
That's
just like,
crazy.
this is crazy. So I came up on this. I actually screen capped it today, and I just laughed because it was let me see if I can find it real quick. I'm sorry. I'm
Good.
not familiar. I've had Android for years, so having an iOS is like really weird for me.
Yeah, I got you, man.
Even though I am an Apple employee, it's like took me a minute to get on there. There we go. So let me see if you can see this. I'm going to turn up the brightness real quick. Maybe the brightness is too high.
Yeah, it's very, very bright.
Anyway, it says I looked for a Black Rose because I was trying to find the logo for you, right? And it says internet slang, chat texting, and subculture. ABRB means a Black Rose Burial. And I was like, what the fuck, dude?
Dude,
Are
that's
you
sick.
serious?
That's so sick. Casper XYZ or XYX in chat says, Joel, it's Casey. Hope you're doing well, and I'll hopefully see you soon.
Oh, definitely, man. Good to see you, Casey. Thanks for tuning in, bro.
So you never really saw success then as a Black Rose Burial. It was like just you didn't realize like how big you actually were getting.
Right. We started getting offers, I want to say like mid 2006, and they were pretty serious offers. We had New Weatherman, which had just signed Heavy Heavy Lolo, and that was Nick Storch of the agency group. So like we were, talking to him for a while to be an imprint of Ferret Records,
Oh
and
shit.
I think like a few months later he signed Foxy too. But
So
he
what
had us in
happened
mind.
then? What happened if y'all were like getting there?
Um, like having twins in the band and stuff, like they're, like they're very cautious, and if the ratios, it was a 4-piece. So if
I
it's
didn't
two
realize you had
against two,
twins.
yeah,
What? That's
the
crazy.
drummer and the bassist,
Really? That's insane. Okay, I didn't know
yeah.
that.
So if nothing's on paper for them, they don't want to take the risk, which I can kind of understand, because they were like, okay, well, this is, something that could bring us into the future. But at that time, man, like bands were hitting so hard, like, and Nick Storch was booking, Sounds of the Underground, had the Black Dahlia Murder, had All Shall Perish, like all these bands on there. And who else? All That Remains, just all these bands hitting these like summer festivals and stuff. And he's like, this is where I want to get you guys. And they wanted to see the paperwork, they were like, if I'm going to sign something, I want to see I want to see the stipulations.
Yeah.
So they were very cautious. And then after that time, like Nick was like, I don't have time, and like, you're either in or you're out. It's like,
That sucks, dude.
yeah.
Are y'all like still friends?
Oh yeah. No, they're my brothers through and through. I love them all. So
But you wish that they had like just signed whatever contract and moved on then,
at the
huh?
time, yeah, I was ready to go.
You know.
The other one we had was Century Media.
Really?
So yeah.
Man, y'all had prospects then. Shit.
Oh yes, it was Century, and then I think we got one from Mega Force, which we were almost going to ride on because they brought us, like, they gave us the packet and stuff like that, and Life Force as well. Life Force was on it too for a minute.
God damn. All right.
Yeah.
Well, so it just fell apart then, or how did y'all split?
I think like it was we. I think our last couple shows were actually like Battle of the Bands things stuff, and we had won the first one, and that had been our first time back in like a year and a half. And then after the second one, and we were still writing, but we were getting together less and less, and Chris actually had to move, so he had to move far away. And at the time, like he didn't have, the financial means to keep him out here in the Bay Area. And
That's the
so,
guitarist, right?
yeah.
Okay.
And the twins and we tried to find a guitarist to fill his place, but at that time, man, like nobody was playing like him,
Hmm.
and we kind of just, settled on that, and just called it after a while. Like
Gotcha.
even now, we have offers, like I have offers, like guitarists offering to play like a reunion, and I was just like, I don't know if I want to do it. I mean, I know
That would be
everybody,
very weird.
nowadays, like they know the Black Rose Barrel songs, they could probably play them, like guitarists nowadays are like freaking beyond like,
Right. But I mean, not
so
having like the actual like player or whatever would be
members,
kind of weird.
yeah,
Yeah. Especially
yeah.
because he seems like he'd be like a super important part of the band or whatever,
Oh, definitely, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
he wrote, a majority, well, if not all, like a majority of the songs. So,
Right.
um,
So
you know,
y'all didn't even play that many shows then, like period.
we played a lot of shows. I mean, in San
Okay.
Jose, like, yeah, we were getting booked like midweek and weekends, like we were probably playing probably about 6 times a month, you
Really?
know?
Okay. But
Yeah.
all locally then.
Yeah. All locally.
Okay,
I
that's
mean, we had like,
crazy.
yeah,
Like y'all were able to blow up, I guess, on MySpace or whatever, and get these offers from like Century Media and shit. That's crazy. That doesn't
right.
happen nowadays. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly, man. No, MySpace was a good tool for scout, like also for, for the record companies too, to scout. You don't have to go through the work of sending out your little package and shit that you used to have. Like I remember we had like little envelopes, like sending out the Metal Blade, sending out the Eulogy, sending out the Ferret, and then MySpace pops up and it's just like, oh, we don't have to do shit, they're hitting us up. So
uh, so it seemed like you just kind of stopped making music for a while then.
yeah, I mean, me, like I was super dedicated to like like I said, I started at a young age, and I was like, I need to do it. I need to do it. It's a good output, So I would search and search to find something. Finally, I met Dave, who's like he's like a little brother to me, my best friend, and he was like, I'll work with you, and he's like trained kind of like Sepultura, death style guitar and stuff, and I was like, no, we're continuing what we would have done in a Black Rose Burial, but we're giving it a different concept, and I need you to play, like, I need you to do jazz timing. I'm gonna start humming shit out, and you're gonna start doing it. And he was like, okay, so it was like a lot of arguments, like a lot of anguish and frustration, but he's come up so much. So that's how the Spirit Projection was formed. And I was just like, hey, I got the name. I think at that time I was calling it the Spirit Projections, and the term related to silent film and residual hauntings.
Okay.
So all of it is about, I grew up with a lot of crazy shit happening, like paranormal, type that
Really?
stuff that I can't explain, a lot of things happening. And I was in an area where there was a lot, like it was pretty much like a ley line, I want to say, for
Okay.
activity.
Give me an example.
Okay.
Craziest story.
Oh, there's a couple crazy ones. So we have a canyon, like a little road that you drive through. A lot of people died through there, and a lot of people like get weird feelings there. But I remember I was driving through there, and I just felt off, because I feel, my great grandmother was actually clairvoyant, so
Okay.
I was just having this feeling, like this off feeling, like, all right, something's either following me or something's, and I'm driving alone. It's at night. And I think I was like blasting Still Remains. Like, and I'm on this road, man, and I'm just like, okay, the air's getting cold now. Shit's like getting crazy, and I'm just like, okay, I start like tensing up and stuff, and then I just feel like something just kind of like stroke the back of my head, like really slowly. I'm just like, all right, fuck this. But then again, here comes the 20-mile turn, and I'm going 40, and like people have like crashed into that, trestle, so many people. So I was like, yeah, that's not happening. Ease off, like get out of there. Another time was driving to and from San Jose, or from Union City or Hayward, where I was at. So Niles is actually originally the first Hollywood.
Okay.
So Charlie Chaplin recorded, he did film out here, I think it was probably, no, I think he made it to Hollywood, but it was the first American location he filmed in.
Okay.
And there's like this, it's a little quaint, cute little town and stuff though, but it gives you feels, man, like weird, like off vibes. But I mean, I love it because I'm kind of like a sucker for that shit. So, but I remember driving home back from practice, and I swear I saw this dude just sprinting to get across the street, and like it's a distance away, but like midway through he's gone.
What the fuck? That's crazy.
Yeah, so shit like that. And we actually had a home in Niles for a little bit, and I remember bringing this girl over, like telling her like all this shit, like I'll see shit out of the corner of my eye, doors will open, doors will shut. This is in the middle of summer, no wind at all the windows are closed anyway. We don't have AC, we just have like fans blowing, but like my door, the way that the hall is faced, like it's really old built, so you didn't get a lot of good ventilation, or like good like wind flow
Right.
where you're at. And she's just like calling me out, like, and talking shit, like, you know what, you're full of shit, like super skeptical. And she's standing right in front of my door, and then my door just fucking slams right behind her.
What? That's crazy, dude. What the fuck?
Yeah. There's I got a ton of them, man. But anyway, though, so I'm taking like, once you read the lyrics that I'll have for the Spirit Projection, like it'll become, like every song is a story that either happened to me or either happened to somebody in my family or a friend of mine, pretty much, and I just taken that concept, but I'm not making it specific about them. I'm still telling a story like I did with a Black Rose Burial, I mean, an awakening of revenants is pretty much about like bigotry, so and stupid people breeding. So
Okay. Well, so you started the Spirit Projection in 2014, is that right?
yeah,
And it's been like 7 years. We've only gotten one song. What's up, man?
I know, dude. Like it's just the guitarist and I writing right now. We finally have the drummer for Asleep on the Forest Floor, and then my buddy Dan from Beneath the Bleeding Sky jumped in on bass. Right now, Damien is still in his sleep, and he's doing other stuff too. So I don't want to overwhelm him. I recently hit up DJ from Return from Exile and asked him if he could do a drum track for me. Like
Okay.
even like program a drum track, give me the beats, give me the tempo and everything, and the click track for Damien to learn. So I'm hoping that we jump up on another single, like a well-produced single here in about 2 to 3 months.
Okay, sweet. Sounds great, man. So, like, no plans to do like an EP or an album or anything. Then that's
Oh
like a
no, I
follow-
do have an EP. Like that's the whole idea. Like I already have all the instrumental tracks done. They're very
Okay.
creepy. Like they just have like really like creepy vibes. Like think about like I don't know, just like haunting like phonograph players, stuff like that. So
Okay, but you don't have anything like scheduled to like record for like that album. Like it's
no,
still like
no,
it's not like happening next year or anything like that. It'd be like a while off.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, I got you, man.
Would you mind giving me a second? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're
I
good,
gotta
man.
move the kid real quick. Sorry about that.
Okay, it's
I'll
all
be
good.
right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
It's all good, man. It's all good, man.
My
So
bad.
you're a father now, right?
Yes,
How many kids do you have? Just one?
just one.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old are they?
She's 5. She's gonna be 6 in February. We got our first Disneyland trip coming up.
Ooh, nice, man. That's awesome,
Yeah.
dude. I bet you're excited as shit, huh?
Oh hell yeah.
That's awesome.
I think I'm more excited for her than myself,
Oh, right. Be excited to
Yeah.
see your reaction and everything. That's awesome, man.
Right.
So Wax Vessel reissued a Black Rose Burials, Awakening of Revenants in like 2020. Is that right?
Yeah.
How
I think
did that come about?
Oh, I was hit up by them, directly, and then I had to talk to the twins. I had to talk to Chris. It took a long time to like actually get everything established to get that release out. Where it comes to like the mage variant or the wax variants and everything like that. But no, they hit me up, and I want to say honestly, the reason that happened was probably thanks to Lennon O'Donnell from Vintage Fatalities. Am I saying that right?
I have no
You're
idea.
like, okay, so great band, like MySpace deathcore based. He had me featured. Like this was the first thing that happened. Like he hit me up and he was like, I want to feature you on a song. Are you down? I said, yeah.
I thought
recorded.
that was the case because that band kept popping up when I was looking up your name across things. I was like, "What the heck is this?" And I finally found out that you did a track with them.
Right. And funny enough, man, like I did that track through my cell phone. Actually, the Spirit Projection recording was through cell phones.
Oh, I believe that because it's pretty rough.
Yeah, exactly. So that was just like our 2020, like, you know what, we ain't got shit else to do. Let's make this happen.
Right.
Let's, show people what we're working on. Let's not give a fuck how hard and beat up it sounds,
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to say Lennon though, like having me on that track really like spiked things, because a month later I was getting hit up by Wax Vessel, and they I think it was Ryan Peter when he was with Wax Vessel at the time, he hit me up and he was just like, hey, is there any way I could get a copy of your EP? And I was like, well, we never really put anything out except for like press copies and stuff. And Chris had all those, and I'm pretty sure most of them got sent out. So I burned him one of our, like of our master takes, and I think we all, like the twins and I, signed it because at that time I didn't, want to send it out to Chris, out to Reading, and be like, hey, you want to sign this and then send it. I was just like, you're only getting 3 of us, just take it.
So were you surprised that they like even knew about a Black Rose burial, or were you surprised that they came up to you asking for a reissue?
I thought it was awesome. I was just like, I mean, I was, I wasn't surprised because I know like kids have been like begging for a physical release for a long time. And I even told everybody, like, is there anywhere where I could buy your CD or, buy this? Or I'm just like, dude, just pirate it, take it. It's online. Just download it. Like, don't worry about it.
Why didn't y'all make CDs like back in the day?
At that point, we had released everything and everybody was torrenting it anyway. We were just like, let's just call it an internet release. Let's call it a digital release and, not charge, and just let them have it, and let's work on a full length.
Okay.
And that was our mindset. And we did end up making 2 more songs after An Awakening.
Are they recorded anywhere?
No, not really. Just like maybe an old digital recorder somewhere. But
okay.
Yeah.
So, well, what's it feel like to know that people are still like, trying to like get your music out there? Like, it doesn't feel weird to you at all that like people give a shit? Like, what is it now? 14 years in the future, right?
It's like going on 16, right? Like
something like that.
Going on 17.
It's a long fucking time.
It's
man.
about 16 last month, I think.
It's a long time, dude, and people still care about it. That's fucking crazy.
I know. It's I want to say it's like awing and humbling,
right?
Honestly,
like it's actually like affected people's lives and shit. That's insane, man.
Right, exactly.
To me, that's making it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Like, I know that An Awakening will always like carry this legacy, and I was just like, okay, but there were other bands putting out like full lengths, we just put out like this EP. Like, I get sick of hearing it, like you want to. I mean, all honestly though, if Dead Redwoods or the Sphere Projection, if they were just like, let's cover Black Rose Burial, I'll be like on it, because I just played with Moria in Dead Redwoods, and that was a hell of a show. So
right. I
nostalgic.
remember seeing their name back in the day. I don't think I've ever actually listened to it.
Great band. They're Santa Cruz based, pretty much like as hard as you could go. Like, I would like to call them like definitely like early like Bay Area deathcore,
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember I saw their album in a Virgin Megastore in Florida one time when I was in Disney World. Yeah, I was like, that's crazy. This would be here, because I just remember seeing them from MySpace.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty cool. So yeah, speaking of other bands, you're in Dead Redwoods. How's all that going?
Well, man, that is an all-star cast. It's basically Bryce is the mastermind. He's previously of The Soothing Sound of Flight.
Okay.
Along with John, the other guitarist, and then we also have Joe from Wrath.
Oh, I
playing
remember
drums right now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were fucking sick, dude. I really loved their albums. That's fucking great.
Oh yeah, dude. He's phenomenal. They're all phenomenal. We also have Tracy Labrie. She was in a band called Arcane Existence. She's in another band called Devils in a Detail, and she's just all over the place. Like, she knows everybody. I'm talking about like Weinberg status, like, musicians. She knows them pretty much. Yeah. So in just overall, just super talented bassist.
So I saw you had some ones that y'all just performed in the studio. Do you have like real professional recordings out there, or is
No. We had Cody Fuentes of Spite do those recordings in their studio at Rapture, And that's what we have so far. I cannot wait to actually do some recordings with Dead Redwoods because that shit's gonna slap.
Is it like on the schedule or anything like that for you
It
guys?
is on a schedule. Yeah, there should be releases. Definitely 2022.
Okay, dope. That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
So that's like the main band for you right now is Dead Redwoods.
Dead Redwoods and the Spirit Projection is my baby. So I'm pushing, as
Okay.
well.
Yeah, I got you, man. You're also in another one, Sunday School Mascot. How did this come about? I see you're doing vocals over material written by someone in Houston.
Yeah, yeah. So my buddy, I've known him for a long time. Like he's known of Black Rose Burial and everything. We were talking for a long time about putting music together and stuff, and he's just really into the tech grind and just grind in general. And pretty much everything, like you name it, anything spastic. And actually, those were his drum tracks on that Spirit Projection recording.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he basically records everything, and I put vocals to it, and we're due to release a full length in 2022.
Oh
Once
shit.
he's done with
Okay.
the once he's done with the music, I'll set up the appointment to do vocals, and we're on.
Hell yeah, man. Seems like 2022 is going to be a big year for you.
I'm hoping so, man.
So again, real quick for Dead Redwoods, are y'all planning on doing tours and stuff like that, or is this more of like a just when you have time kind of project?
It started like, okay, it was Bryce's baby. Like he had these songs and he needed to get them out, and he just wanted to do it like kind of like an audio tree kind of thing, with it, which we did at Rapture. And it ended up being like, oh, so we're getting this show offer. Do you guys want to play it? And we're like, fuck yeah, And then I remember us playing a show back in uh, July. And he's like, yeah, this might be our last show. This might be it for us, blah, 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 depending on which route you guys want to go. I don't want to keep you guys too long. Like, it's like, you don't want to fucking keep us, man. We're all about this shit. Let's go. Let's go. Let's keep going, And Joel of Pinup just saw us, and he was just like, yeah, they got to keep going. So now we're just getting more and more offers. And yeah, it started as a disposable thing, kind of, or a thing that Bryce wanted to keep together as a sole member. But if any of us wanted to dip, like we could have left, But none of us seemed to like, or everybody, one of us is pretty reluctant to leave. Like we're just like, no, I'm liking this. Yeah, so yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny, like about the evolution of what's going on with us right now.
So y'all are
We're,
taking it pretty seriously then, like.
we're all in, yeah.
Okay,
We're
awesome, man.
definitely all in.
That's good to hear, dude. That's good to hear. You
Yeah.
were also you did I believe it's just an E or Asleep on the Forest Floor, right?
I did actually just one song. We
Oh, just one
recorded a
song.
song.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, we wanted to put out like the sound that we were doing at the time right before our Sulfur show, because that was our first national act show coming back after COVID.
Mm.
And
Okay.
we were just like, let's promote the shit out of this. Let's put out a single, let's do all this other stuff. And we made it happen. I got stickers made, we got shirts made, and we just, you know, tried to make sure that we were looking more professional than we were in the past.
I got
So
you. And so you ended up leaving that band just a couple months ago, right?
yeah, it was like a mutual thing, like our drummer Damien, he had hit me up and he was just like, I know that you and Dave are on a certain route, and Travis, the other guitarist, and him are on another route, and he's like, due to creative differences, I just kind of think, but he also said he feels really bad. So he wanted to play drums for the Spirit Rejection. I'm like, well, drummers are hard as hell to find out here. So I'll take advantage of that. Yeah, you're in,
Hell yeah, man. That's what's
but
up.
we're all friends. We all love each other. We built a bond. So I was just like, yeah, if you want to go in a different direction, I completely respect that. There's
Hell
nothing
yeah.
wrong with that.
I gotta ask you, what's up with you and bands that have names about plants? So like you have a black rose burial, dead redwoods, asleep on the forest floor. Do you ever notice that? Is that like
You know
a
what?
weird
Now
trend with
that
you?
you're bringing it to light, I thought it was pretty funny that Bryce had named Dead Redwoods, like especially after I was asleep on the forest floor. The rose thing I didn't think back to, but I was just like, now that you mention it, it's pretty funny, man. Yeah, no, Dead Redwoods, I was just like, oh, okay, it's another woodsy band. This should be fun for my artists. Let's see.
So we got a random question here. I ask everybody, what do you put on your hot dogs?
Um, Mustard, cheddar cheese, and dill relish.
Okay, interesting combination. I wouldn't expect the cheddar cheese with the other ones, but
I
hey,
love
I'm
cheese,
down for
man.
some cheese. Yeah, right. You can't pass up cheese.
Right.
So moving on to shows, what's the best show you've played?
Let's see. Recently was the actually there were like two of them, but the best show I played with a Black Rose Burial I remember was at Makla with the infamous "Jesus is a cunt" shirt like photo that
I don't
that
know
I'm
that
all
one.
over. So you'll see it. Google Black Rose Burial. You'll see me like hunched over, like in the back of my shirt is the Cradle of Filth shirt. Jesus is a cunt. And I remember that the people putting on that show are like strong Christians, and they were like the biggest bookers back in that time. And they took on another venue, and they were like, "Dude, just do us a favor. Don't wear that shirt ever again." Like, it really offended like the main guy and everything. I was like, my bad, dude. So the next time I wore that shirt with a Central Catholic high school shirt over it. So that was pretty funny. Yeah, I was like, I think I wore that shirt, and then I think I changed into my carcass shirt after, but
Yeah,
it
there's a
was still
lot
an
of like
undershirt.
there's a lot of people or churches booking like the Christian metalcore bands or whatever. So I
Right.
guess you were just joining in on some of those shows then.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, they were booking everything, dude. Like the first time I saw Through the Eyes of the Dead was through their production company, or their booking company. So
Okay.
it was crazy, man. They got all kinds of stuff. Like they got us on with Psyopus probably like two times, I think.
Oh, nice, man.
Yeah.
That must have been crazy to see him live.
Oh yeah, dude. Like I never saw them with their last singer, but both the time or three times or four times we played with them. It was all with Augie, in the original lineup of the Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza, and those became like our homies. Like we were just like anytime they were in town, we'd end up getting booked with them.
Is that why on the EP one of the songs references Tony Danza?
No, that was just all
Okay.
like us thinking, like, okay, well, we're gonna just like do, references, like, and I just thought it was funny, Tony Danza versus growing pains, but instead I said growing pains,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do a dad joke, like
Dude, dad jokes are
15
awesome,
years
man.
before even being a dad, or 10 years, I should say.
Dude, that's the best kind of humor, though, man.
Right.
What would you say your worst show is?
Oh man, my worst show was probably the very first show I played with them, with the Black Rose. Like we played at this place called the Gaslighter, and we actually got Animosity to headline.
Oh, damn.
And I was all hopped up on red lines. Remember those? Those
Okay.
those those energy
Dude,
drinks?
they still exist, man.
But I drank like three of them, and I got the cotton mouth like crazy. And I'm just like, like pretty much like fucking Beavis, like on a sugar rush, like up on stage, and like George lost one of his drumsticks. I threw it out at the crowd. I ended up hitting this poor person, like,
Oh,
and
shit.
everybody just like, that was the first show that I've ever seen some people just start walking out. And
Oh,
that was our
shit.
very first show, but they didn't give up on me. So, but after that, I did my own self-disciplining, and I was just like, yeah, that shit ain't ever going to happen again.
Right, right. No, no
And,
more
and
red lines. No more red lines.
No. Yeah.
What about your weirdest show?
Weirdest show, I wouldn't really say it's weird because everybody was doing this at this time, but like, when the group photo op thing that the
Okay.
bands do at the end, where they're all like teamed up together. Will seeing a sender receiver like completely butt naked, like in the shot, like out of nowhere, like fucking ninjas. Just like I turn around and Max is like completely fucking naked, like standing right behind me. I'm like, how'd you do that? That quickly, man. Like, but I don't think we've ever got any like weirdness. We got some craziness. I remember we played like a pretty chaotic show in Salinas in a tiny living room, and Chris got spin kicked and he got his headstock like smashed into his face.
Shit.
That was pretty brutal. Yeah, I think it was more like brutal shows. We opened up at a coffee shop. This brand new coffee shop just opened. They decided to have a metal band, and when we went on, like kids were tearing the art off the walls and shit. Like I
Holy
think I
shit.
broke up a fight, in the middle. I remember though when David and Chris would do their like axe swings and stuff. I just dipped down right on time, like get down like this. And then once everybody saw that, man, it was just like an all-out war. But I just remember having these two kids by the scruffs of their neck, like, don't do it. They were just like, okay,
Dude,
But
that's crazy. What the fuck?
yeah, they never had a metal band play there again. That was the end. That was the first and last time.
I don't know if I've ever heard of a
Hundreds.
coffee shop putting a metal band up on. That's fucking
It's such a
hilarious.
sweet name too, man. Called the Cherry Bean. I mean, how are you gonna wreck a place called the Cherry Bean? Come on.
Dude, what the fuck? That's so wild.
Those poor owners, dude. Like, I felt so bad. They're like, yeah, we're never having like, I think they did like folk bands and stuff after that.
They learned
Once
their
they,
lesson.
yeah, once they replaced like the thousands of dollars of damage, we're just like, and it's like they don't serve alcohol there. You just got all these kids hopped up on
Yeah, I
caffeine,
was
just
gonna
going
say they got all the
after each other,
caffeine,
man.
man.
Yeah.
The kids gotta let it off, right?
Right.
So, what's your album of the year so far? I guess we're at the end of the year, so yeah, just album of the year.
It was a close race, man. It was between Devil Soul Soul Loss and Mole Diorama. And I gotta say Mole took it.
I gotta say, I'm not familiar with either of those.
Okay, so I wanna say like Devil Soul is pretty much like on the verge of post rock. Those like really like ethereal, like uh atmospheric kind of like guitars and stuff like
Kind of
that.
like shoegaze.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah, but also hardcore
Okay.
or metalcore. Yeah, metalcore. Yeah, definitely with the metalcore vocals and everything like that. And Mole is basically taking Death Heaven's place as like black gaze contenders. And but they're just doing like the way that they do it dude, is just beautiful. Like every song, and they're all catchy too. I
It's
mean,
interesting that you didn't mention any like mathcore bands or anything. I kind of figured that'd be the
well,
direction you'd
aside
be
from your album,
gravitating to.
yours is up there, man. Like
Oh,
I probably have about 80 albums, but you're definitely up there. I think I have it on my list right now,
I
actually.
appreciate that, man.
Yeah, no worries. Always a fan, man. Like I think oh, fuck, I'm trying to remember. I think it was the 2 albums ago I got yours was probably the third vinyl I've ever purchased.
Oh shit, man, that's awesome,
Yeah.
dude. I
The
appreciate
first
that.
one I got was a Black Rose Barrels. So
Okay, okay. Good time to start record collection. I like it.
yeah.
Well, that's about all I had to talk about. Shit, anything else you wanted to bring up?
Um, not nothing that I can really think of. Oh, I will say that what was it? Another album like there's other ones where like the mathcore ones too. Running Close is Pupil Slicers.
Right, dude. They're
Yeah,
so good. They're freaking great, man. Kate's
yeah.
awesome.
Pupil Slicer got me, dude. Like that shit's just fucking amazing. But there's a lot of mathcore bands that actually, hit the list too. I'm pretty sure I got like 120, and I don't even do top anymore. I'm like albums that I fucked with this year.
Okay, that's a
Yeah.
nice, easy way to say it rather than trying to like come up with who's better than who. I like that.
Right. Exactly. And I don't put them in any like general order either. I'm just like, I listen to this more than once, this more than once, this more than once, and I would definitely listen to it again.
I got you, man. That's awesome. Well, so you're in the Spirit Projection, Dead Redwoods, and Sunday School Mascot. Those are your current projects, right? You don't have anything else?
No.
Alrighty. So all those are on Facebook, Bandcamp. They all have like Instagrams and stuff.
Yes, actually.
Okay,
Yeah.
sick. And I imagine you have things out on Spotify right now. I imagine Sunday School Mascot is, right?
Sunday School Mascot, I think, is only on Bandcamp, but Dead Redwoods do have the live recordings
Oh, you do. Okay.
up on Spotify now. Yeah.
Okay. Sick.
Nothing from the Spirit Projection yet. I'm waiting for us to actually put out that well-produced
Gotcha.
single. Yeah.
Okay, sick. And your personal accounts, you have some on Facebook and Instagram as well. Are there any other socials or anything like that you wanted to shout out? Any websites or anything like that?
No, I think that covers all the bases, man. Like, I'm not
Alrighty.
very tech savvy, so the more I stay away from like other things, like the easier my life is.
I got you. Well, as for me, drop my channel, follow so you always know when I go live. You can also sub to get access to the interviews before they hit YouTube and other streaming services, as well as some exclusive emotes. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. YouTube, folks, if you enjoyed the video, please drop a like, tickle the notification bell, and don't forget to subscribe. It's a great way to support me for free. Check out my music, The Sound That Is Creation, at soundthatIscreation.bandcamp.com. My new album, Boomers, Zoomers, Desperate Coomers, is out now. My next guest... hopefully is Tunic. We're going to see if we can make that work. It should be this Wednesday, the 22nd at 7 p.m. Central for the live cast. Thanks for being here, Joel. Hope you had a good time.
Hey, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And thank you guys for watching and listening.